straight into it and want to introduce
recording in progress.
Greetings and salutations, friends and family. We're here on day one of the World Future Studies Federation online session, and we are going to be joined by our second to last session for the afternoon, which is about technologies transforming the future of precision medicine. We're going to be hearing from Safia Dawood, and she'll be introducing herself and her topic. I'm quite interested to learn more about this. And this is one of our sponsors, speaker from one of our sponsor universities, Prince Mohammed bin Fahd University. So thank you very much, Safia. The floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. I'm Safia. I will present today the topic, research titled Technologies Transforming the Future of Precision Medicine, State-of-the-Art Challenges and Opportunities. On behalf of my colleague Aisha, she have an emergency and I will present her part too. We work together in this systematic review. We will introduce in this session, we will talk about the future of healthcare through precision medicine. Hello? The future of healthcare through precision medicine. We will talk about also the precision medicine business model. And the technologies that can enable the precision medicine, implementation challenges, and the future directions. Also, some precision medicine around the world initiatives. Here, we will discuss first before we start talking about how precision medicine will influence the future of healthcare. We have to shed some light about the concept and the basis of precision medicine. Precision medicine is dependent, will have an input from the lifestyle of the patient, the genetic analysis, and the environment and the drivers, partners around the environment that the patient exists in. The precision medicine is a patient-focused medication and will provide a personalized healthcare plan. Okay, precision medicine was started with the initiative to make the treatment more suited on the patient, more centered on the patient, with the focus on the outcome and the value resulted from the treatment given to the patient, depending on his her or his lifestyle, their genetic expression according to their genotype and phenotypes, and their reactions and triggers, and how they perceive medications and drugs and so on. Also their lifestyle and the drivers and healthcare providers, and we will talk in a second about the business model, sorry. Here, what does precision medicine promise in healthcare, in regard to healthcare? As we can see here, precision medicine will move the healthcare, the traditional healthcare we used to, where one size fits all, to personalized healthcare innovation drives precision medicine. In the opposite to precision medicine, where the patient and the value of the outcome and the quality of the outcome of a treatment or procedure is the one size fits all. What do you mean by one size fits all? That means that in case or a special type of treatment for a certain disease, we will generalize this treatment and advise it to every patient that we have. Okay, for example, if I was a practitioner and I specialized in, for example, high blood pressure, I have a certain protocol or a diagnosis and prognosis procedure that I will follow with every patient. That means one class or one procedure fits all my patients with some changes, but in general, it's one class fits all cases. But in precision medicine, we have a value-driven method. What do you mean by value-driven method? We mean that the outcome is the goal, is not the service is the goal. The outcome of the patient, a patient went to a clinic, the outcome and the value that patient gained from this treatment is our goal now in precision medicine. This is the promise of what precision medicine and the future of healthcare initiative around the world. Here, what makes, here in some example, for a cancer treatment, the main field for practices in precision medicine is cancer treatment. Okay, we previously we're not using the precision medicine technology and genetic analysis. Treatment for cancer were based on the shape and the characteristics and the size and the place of the tissue and the type of cancer according to the perspective of the physician and the healthcare provider. This is, we recommend a treatment plan for a cancer patient. But in precision medicine, with precision medicine, the model and the treatment, the pathology path for the patient will differ here. We will start with the patient. Then we go to study the tumor and perform a genetic analysis. We will check the triggers in the genotypes and the receptors and the targeted phenotypes of as resulted from this cancer. We call this a reticulotype analysis, which is a new technology that is used in precision medicine that focuses on finding the outcome, the behavior of patient according to drug or treatment. And this differs from patient to patient. For example, I give a simple example here. In vaccination, for example, the CDC, they provide a vaccination list that is unified for all, for example, infant, in timing, in dosage, and we have a unified schedule for all around the world, okay? And it's proved its success. But for diseases such as, for example, rheumatoid arthritis, when we provide drugs and treatment for patients, the outcome differs from patient to patient. Some patients will have adverse events, side effects, and some complications to the treatment. Some will have a longer period of treatment. Others will have shorter period. This depends on the metabolic effect of drugs and treatment on the cell. We have different response to drugs, individual varieties. Every person responds to drug differently according to for example, my lifestyle, my age, my many factors that will affect my reaction, our response to medication, my outcome at the end of the treatment. This is we call it the response of the patient. And here in cancer, they study the phenotypes that are affected by the targeted and the treatment, how they affect the genomes according to the gene expression, and it's different. It's like a fingerprint. We see here in the in this shape. It's a personalized tumor profile. At the end of our analysis, we provide what? A tumor profile that is unique as a fingerprint for every patient. That will be used later to dedicate the treatment plan for this patient. All this data will be collected from with a center on perspective on the patient, and we stored in genetic databases. And we will create a conversion to cancer databases, analysis of biochemical pathways. We create an analysis to predict the suitable and the drugs and the amount and the period. And we can predict the effect according to this patient, and we conversion with previous analysis and prediction and clinical trials. After this, we will indication of druggable pathways and targets. We will target the mutation, the gene mutation that led to this type of cancer, and how aggressive and how it will be treated and will be encountered and deal with it using also the genetic analysis and reticulotypes analysis. Then all this result will help in making decisions by doctors and pharmacists, and then we'll conduct the treatment as tailored around the patient needs to overcome this disease. As you can see here in this example, the precision medicine model for treatment and prognosis and diagnosis for diseases is more precise, more accurate, and give us more result in the long run, especially for cancer that is merely genetic and related to lifestyle and environment, and also to chronic diseases that cause complication in the long run. Then we will talk about precision medicine, how it's the future of healthcare. I think many of us we heard before about the movement currently in Europe and the United States and other countries in the Middle East. They are moving from service-based healthcare into value-based healthcare. To decide if precision medicine align with the future vision and strategy of healthcare, we have to understand the healthcare in the past, present, and future. Okay, healthcare in the past was dependent on the intuition medicine. We call it intuition medicine, and it's driven by science and symptoms. For example, if I had fever or I have a cough, this trigger me to go to the doctor. If I didn't develop any symptoms, I carry the disease, but I didn't develop any symptoms or signs or of a disease. It's very, in the past, it was impossible to get a diagnosis or treatment or prescribed any drugs or any precautions. In present, currently, it's evidence-based medicine. What I mean by evidence-based, it's based on the clinical trials. I have medications and chemists or engineers who are working on clinical trials and create pathologists who can create treatment plans for a certain diseases according to their evidence in the lab and their research and their conclusions. Okay, and this is what our present situation. We can, for example, I can conclude that according to this patient with these symptoms, he taken this type of drug. He may have, in the long run, he may have, for example, lactose intolerance, or he may develop some complication, or he have. This is according to what? To a clinical trial and research based. Okay, this is the present. The future, where we said before that the future of healthcare globally is not service-based. How many patients I served as a physician or healthcare provider? No. What is the outcome? What is the value according to my treatment for my patient in the long run? And this is the future. And precision medicine based on algorithms, I can extract decisions and predict the genetic and the future health for this patient, and will reflect on the population and public health according to my understanding of in the current future. I didn't wait for the symptoms. I didn't wait for the result of clinical trials, the conclusions of researchers or medical clinics. No, I will study the environment, the surrounding of this person. I can predict that this person can have, for example, 95% chance that they will develop an episode of certain disease or cancer or okay, according to the genetic construction and the genetic analysis and the genotypes and phenotypes of the molecular cells. This is the future, and this is what that means that precision medicine aligns with the vision of healthcare. Okay, to start discussing the technologies that will enable the precision medicine, we have first to understand the precision medicine model, business model. Okay, because we know healthcare is actually a business. Precision medicine, the intrusion of this precision medicine in healthcare will change entirely the business model. Why? Because we change what the outcome and the input of the diagnosis and the treatment plan. Healthcare providers and hospitals are not paid now by the service, are paid by the outcome, the quality of outcome, and the value. So we need to understand the basics of the business model. Here on the left, the far left, we have the input or the drivers of this entire business model, starting from the tech devices and the technologies in general. This including the biosensors and implantable devices and wearable devices, and we will discuss this as a technology that enabling precision medicine. Also, providers with different clinics, healthcare provider, general clinics, outpatient, and all these are providers. The patient themselves consider the drivers for the business model, and the payers and the insurance and the employers who provide the financing for this any healthcare procedure. Then the pharmaceutical and biochemistry labs, and then we have the med tech, or have the pumps and the medical devices inside the hospital or the clinic. These are the drivers, and we have the first layer, this section, the input, or sometimes we call it the data, that the data that are used as the basis for the finding the treatments and the analysis in precision medicine. Precision medicine will use the data that is extracted from the patient omics and genetics and the genetic expressions and the molecular analysis for the patient themselves and the genetic footprint, all these and pathways analysis. These considered will be the data extracted, will be the input for the next phase. Also, the wearables, for example, I have an Apple Watch that we count the register my vital signs, will be also included into as an input for the precision medicine. And we have the medical sensors. These are the biosensors that will detect my vital, for example, they have biotriggers, bioelement that are sensitive to, for example, if I have elevated, they control the biological characteristics of the cell, and they trigger a sensor sensing something and collected by devices and registered into electronic health record. All this data will be registered into the electronic health record and accessed by the healthcare providers for decision making. Then we have here, these data will be as an input for different units. For example, advanced product development. Let us start by a data-driven treatment. Okay, for example, this data will be used as an input to describe the health situation for the patient. If he's suitable, we can predict the outcome for his treatment and what type of medication and what type of treatment plan is suitable for this patient. Our treatment is data-driven, not on symptoms or not on anything, it's data. And here we can without patient even visiting the hospital, we can create a preventive plan, preventing any diseases that this patient can develop in the future. Okay, and we can change his lifestyle. We can recommend him with special diet and so on. Then we have a personalized drug delivery. Okay, according to our genetic model that we provided, we can provide a personalized drug delivery. For example, some patients, for example, high blood pressure, we have different medication that can used for this situation, but some patients have adverse events, can develop side effects. We can use it into what? Drug delivery. Okay, and especially drug delivery have a very huge field, especially for cancer patients, because we have different cancer treatment drugs with more than 128 different treatment compounds. We can choose and pick from these according to the patient. Now it's depends on trial and error. If a patient develop some problem, we can switch to another drug and so on. Then we have this data can be used by physicians in clinical decision support system. They will help physician to diagnose and their prognosis, and will lead them to what is best for the patient. And the decision they will take, it will be, as we mentioned before, tailored according to the situation of the patient in hand. Then we have this data can be used for will transform the medical policies. We will transform the HIPAA, the Health Insurance Privacy and Portability Act. Will change every policy of healthcare, because now the patient need to have more privacy, because we are digging into his genetics and we looking into his lifestyle, and these are very private information, and we need more policies and rules and guidelines that lead us on how to treat this information, how to gain patient access, and how to gain his trust, and not trust, we say consent to use this data for treatment. Also, this data will be used in research development, advanced research, and for exploring new products. And there is also in precision medicine, we have precision pharmaceuticals. On the precision pharmaceuticals, they will produce drugs that is patient-specific, and they started on this in the changing based on the genetic expression of the patient. Then we have in the layer at the end, we have all will lead preventive medicine initiatives, will affect public health. We can predict the health status of the public according to the lifestyle again, and genetics, and again all these information. We create a public give us an indicator of how healthy the population in an area. Also, this will lead to a patient-centered value chain. We will change the value chain of the healthcare will be changing according to these technologies we talked about. Also, the monetized data. Also, this data can be monetized because it's can be sold for research centers to after patient consent, to create clinical decision support system, to create new products, create new technologies, and so on. Also, the payment also direct to patient. Patient can pay, will be charged, and reimbursement will be changed in the healthcare industry since we are based on not on omics and wearable devices and medical sensors. The reimbursement will change. Okay, now we'll take a look about the technologies enabling precision medicine. We have different technologies. Big data, I think all of us know that, blockchain, IoT, augmented reality, robotics, and mobile technologies. And we'll discuss and we pretend state of the art and some of the best business models that was included in this, using these technologies. Big data, we all of us know big data and has used to describe the rapid increase in volume, variety of information available. Big data has expanded in including increasing ability to analyze and interpret data. Big data focuses on collection, storage, cleaning, processing, and interpretation, and continue to be developed and extract meaning from large volume of information. Big data, one, healthcare is considered a field that is suitable for big data application because, as we mentioned, we collect genetic data and data about the information about the lifestyle of the patient and his individual through his own life. And can you imagine how big this data is and how large and volume and various and different in types and structure, and we collect it, and we need big data and their tools and their collection abilities and storage abilities and analytics abilities, and how we mine through these to figure out patterns and so on. And big data is a technology that will advance the precision medicine. And here we mentioned the research by Jane and her team. In the paper, they published the application of big data to cardiovascular diseases back to precision medicine. And in this paper, they proposed a model on how to use big data to help in precision medicine for cardiovascular patients. As you can see in this model, we have big data sources. We have different sources, for example, clinical data, exposome, and here macrobones, genomes, genetics. We collected here habits, environmental imaging, physician notes, even physician notes data. We collect all this data and store it into the big data using the special scientific network analysis and genetic scientific network analysis on these data and finding patterns. We will analyze, as we mentioned before, reticulotype. And reticulotype is a new analysis method other than the genetics. It's extract the features that is affected by the genotype, which is the phenotypes. It's affected how the environment affect our genetic structure, how they affect our the characters of our genetics. This is how we develop diseases or develop sometimes complications and so on. Then we create an analysis. They proposed in their model, the data can identify clusters of similar phenotypes within a heterogeneous phenotype. Heterogeneous as we collected from different sources. The data from individual can identify reticulotype, patient-specific phenotypes. Reticulotype, as we mentioned, it's the phenotypes and the characteristics of the genes. And they will create clusters of patients, and according to each cluster, we will recommend similar treatment, and they have similar outcome according to their genetic. This is the big data application. Then a second technology, which is the Internet of Things. Internet of Things, as we know, Internet of Things enable us to introduce automation in nearly any field. Precision medicine can be further enhanced by integrating the Internet of Things. Brief description. Here we have an example. First, the IoT medical sensors and devices are directly connected to the patient body of interest. Sensors collect various physiological conditions and vitals and accumulated data in processed, organized, and subsequently analyzed. The data is stored in the associated medical provider cloud storage for aggregation. Depending on the analytics aggregation itself, the patient can be monitored for distant places and necessary actions are taken. So Internet of Things will be the tool for collecting the triggered signals by the cell into, we call it the biological signals, collected and transferred into an electronic signal, and then transferred wirelessly or through the internet or some embed devices, okay? And then stored in the cloud storage or in the electronic health record, and the doctor can perform any machine learning or AI or any classification or association, and we can predict some outcome or interfere to prevent an adverse event or a complication that may occur or danger to the patient. We have here an Internet of Things application proposed by Jane, a history of deep brain simulation, technological innovation, and the role of clinical assessment tools. Okay. Here we have human brain simulation. We have a biosensor that is connected to you for Parkinson's disease or any neurological disorders or illnesses that cause neurotransmitted signals. We want to catch these signals and send them to the provider, the healthcare provider, and he can we call it a real-time signals collection based on medical Internet of Things sensors, biosensors that implanted into the brain of the patient. Okay, they hear the sensors in the brain, and we have a gateway that will carry the signal after it's modulated into the healthcare provider, and he can perform the suitable analysis and adjust the algorithm for the therapy of the patient. The special thing on the proposed study by Jane and her colleagues is the real-time capturing of biological signals that will affect a real-time that will lead to real-time change in the administration of medication for the patient. This is a conceptual model of the usage of how IoT can help the precision medicine. Then we have the blockchain, and blockchain will help in the aspect of privacy and policy, privacy and security of systems, especially in precision medicine. We can say why we mentioned the blockchain. Every system needs to be secure, but in precision medicine, we deal with the high sensitive data that can be used in a malicious way, changing patient treatment plan. These data are the basis for treatment and can, if this data is subjected to stealing or someone take this data, it's hack of privacy of the patient and can be stigmatized and can be treated, discriminated against. Okay, we will see this as a challenges in the implementation of precision medicine. Blockchain, as we said, offer a decentralized distributed environment without the need for a third party, trusted party. Blockchain can be used to solve issues in cyber attacks, and current healthcare information system face several challenges such as fragmented patient data, centralized system are viewed as a single point of attack, and lack of patient-oriented services. Here, patient-oriented services, we need patient to, this data that is the basis as the input of precision medicine is considered, the ownership of this data is considered by the patient. The patient owns this data because this patient is related to this data is related to the patient. The The patient owns this data. And the healthcare provider and the hospitals and clinics need the consent of the owner, which is the patient, to access the data and extract patterns and treatments. So we need a ledger which is provided by blockchain that give us services that oriented toward the patient, who give the access and who give permission. Okay, integrating blockchain with electronic patient record can help solve some of the issues that exist in current healthcare infrastructure. For example, a patient may be given more control over their own data to transfer to. Blockchain can help secure electronic medical records for unauthorized viewing and modification for using encryption and decryption channels. Here again, we have Khalid Shuaib, the titled Blockchain for Secure Digitized Medicine. We have the proposed system that uses blockchain for securing and creating channel between the healthcare provider and the patient. Here we have the patient data that is collected from different resources: app, at-home devices, monitoring and recording, consultation, wearables. And we have the lab tests, operation devices, medical devices, medical services, electronic health medical records that is related to the clinic. This is owned by the clinic. And both these data are combined to create what used in the prediction. But here our focus is how this data is controlled by the blockchain, enabling encryption and decryption and authentication channel. And we can analyze this data, and by the caretaker or the patient can access his data, and then the data and the result will send to the payers, the insurers, or for research and so on. This is the again a conceptual model on how blockchain can help precision medicine. Now we talk about mobile and wearable devices. Wearable devices are become widespread in wide range, and I think the time is almost finishing. I'll try to speed up. Wearable devices are becoming widespread in wide range of applications, and their main applications in precision medicine and health, especially in the elderly people, and they capture physiological monitors and indicators that help us measure the measure the critical biomarkers for medical diagnosis. We have the biomarkers. They are triggered. Usually, biomarkers are the reaction of the patient and the cell to every medication or a medicine or something. We can measure it through what wearable devices or mobile application. They are changing the point of care diagnosis through monitoring and long-term. Again, we have with the research by GOC, the paper they published, evaluation of wearable devices with real-time disease monitoring for personalized healthcare. We have here, we can touchable devices, we can use ingestible devices, we have implantable devices, we have wearable devices, we have mobile apps, we have biosensors that used, and all these data can be sent to a server through the internet and stored in the electronic medical record for the patient. And and the hospital, used in the hospital by the healthcare provider. The implementation challenges. We have challenges, which is the design of the ecosystem, precision medicine ecosystem. As you mentioned, the ecosystem, how the patient will point of care and the continuity of care, and the analysis and genetic analysis. We will need where to get the patient consent. These are changeable. We need to change it in order to fully implement the technologies of precision medicine. It's not as a traditional medicine. The patient book an appointment and go and his appointment and give consent and take the procedure. It's not. It's very different. Redesign the clinical decision support system. Also, the clinical decision support system is not based on the clinical trials. It's based on the environmental lifestyle and all these characteristics. The integration and standardization, as we mentioned before, we need policies, we need standards, because we are dealing here with genetics and different indicators and different biomarkers. We dealing on the granularity is different. We are dealing with the level of the cell, not the level of the symptoms or events. Details and insight. We should provide insight according to our collected data, which is huge, very huge. We have to provide summaries to the patient that justify his treatment and give him an insight why he get this treatment, while other patients with the same disease get other treatments. We have to give these details, and this is very important, justification. We have ethical aspect, and this is very important according to the papers we included in our research. This was the biggest fair of precision medicine, that using this genetic analysis at stigmatize a certain ethnicity or a certain population, or using it against the patient, not with the patient. Sometimes insurers, if they have access to the genetic implication, they can predict this patient is prone to, for example, chronic diseases in the future, and will cause us to pay more for his complications and treatment in the future. And this will be against the patient. Also, the patient will be in a constant fear that his lifestyle is controlled by the payers, and his future is overlooked, and his genetic and all this information is cause fear and disrupt the relationship between the patient and the healthcare provider. The cost effectiveness, we have to, cost effectiveness need more study. We need more evidence according to cost. If for every treatment we need to create a genetic, and every disease, genetic analysis is very expensive and require very big devices and quality of processing and speed of processing, and this is we need to be studied more. Here we will talk about the future of precision medicine. We mean the improvement area and the research area, the data complexity and volume. We have structured and unstructured data in interoperability. This is the second point, the integration of data, the privacy, as we mentioned, the computational challenges and the analysis require very huge capabilities. Here in the last slide, some of the initiatives and efforts, global efforts in precision medicine. In the United States, the United States took the lead launching the idea of precision medicine under the Obama administration back in 2015. And actually now they are creating policies in the Health Organization on the governmental level. Europe also, they put into an effort enormous promote precision medicine in the European regions. They have the biggest public-private partnership between the Europe and the European pharmaceutical industry, and the Innovation of Medicine Initiative. Also in the United Kingdom, they started one known project with 100,000 genome project in 2013, and around 70,000 people participated in this initiative. Also in South Korea, they started the world first precision medicine center focused in the cell therapy. It was a very innovative initiative. In China is included as a part of China 5-year plan, expected investment for more than 9 billion for research. That's it. Our conclusion, thank you very much. If you have any question or Hello? Is anyone here? Let's make sure. Hello? Yeah, I think I finished. I can hear you. I can't hear you.
I'm saying I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. I found it a very informative presentation myself,
Yeah.
especially because I'm into science and healthcare futures. And
Yeah.
I've been trying to develop a whole conversation on healthcare futures, looking at things like precision medicine, looking at how AI could be used in a negative way. So I certainly hope we can have a chance to talk, not necessarily right now, because we're going to go straight into the closing session. But I'd love to see if we can have a talk. You and I can connect. So if you could put your link. Put your LinkedIn, if you have a LinkedIn account, and then if you could probably stop the recording and send back the host to me, that would be great.
Okay, thank you. This is my email. I would love to collaborate.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.